Ahoy and welcome back the SCS Perambulator, the Explorer class vessel that is lost in a different universe. Last episode we met some space cats who were at war with some insects. We got in trouble with the trade guild, but we managed to redeem ourselves. We've paid the pass, so we're allowed in their space, and now we are looking for a diplomatic vessel that is lost. The Nemoans, or the space cats, have lost a diplomat, and they're scared to go looking for him because they are almost at war with the insect races that share their border. And our ensign, James, got his brain hacked by some kind of virtual reality device that wasn't made for our neurology. Now he is suffering from the effects of that. It also seems that in the last episode there was some issues with the commander's log and the recording device that were used to record our logs here on the Perambulator, but that issue has now been solved by the technical team, and there won't be any more loss of my wonderful voice. My name is Ty, we are playing Starcom. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit the button, like it, subscribe it, and we will keep the expedition going. If you're new to the series, the Perambulator is on her maiden voyage. She is basically a prototype ship. We have lots of crew aboard, and we are a little bit too slow. I'm hoping that we are resilient enough to face proper combat, and we do have quite an array of close defense weapons for fighting missiles. We did encounter what I would say some kind of radioactive missile in the last mission, and this ship was quite susceptible to it. Ensign James is suffering from nightmares and vivid dreams, and there's some light banter saying that we're about to go, Event Horizon, where he would chop up the crew without the eyes in his head, but it seems that his medical status is okay. He's just really suffering from some psychic feedback, I guess. It's hard to say if we're still in Nemoan space or in the insect space. It's pretty sedate. There aren't many things going on in this region. It's a nice change. We've been pursued by pirates for the better part of 4 episodes now, and we did discover that the pirates are a little bit all bark and not really much bite. They do have pretty powerful cannons, but mostly they're just there for intimidating. Whiskermug showed them a thing or two, and picking up the remnants of the dead pirates is what led to us building this ship, basically. So thank you very much to the Space Walrus Whiskermug and his pink dreadnought that sails the stars. Alright, we have some neutral ships here. They look like the insect people ships. The Kernan. The scanner indicates multiple anomalies scattered widely over the planet's surface. The team picks up one and lands in a nearby open field. The reading is indistinct and there's nothing obviously unusual. Several team members report a vague sense of insecurity. As the team searches, their complaints of unease and disorientation increase. Just as they're about to abort, Ensign Kepler makes an interesting comment. There are slight variations in the background EM radiation, and these variations could be dismissed as statistical noise. This planet has a second smaller core of nickel iron close to its primary core. Dual core, double Yoka planet. This planet experienced a total ecological collapse centuries ago. Its industries were heavily dependent on processes that released a lot of toxic pollutants into the atmosphere. The ecological collapse happened very suddenly. They acquired the technology to remove the toxins. Unfortunately, one of the life forms on the Earth, part of the biome, was able to adapt to need the pollution, and therefore the ecology collapsed very rapidly. Alright, so the Kernan space station is not a threat to us. Well, let's continue to search this sector. We are looking for a space cat, possibly lost in hostile territory. Initial sensor readings pointed to an abnormal resource concentration for this dry canyon world, but at closer inspection, the readings clarified nothing. Instead, the team finds an old small vessel, its literal skeleton crew still at their stations. The ship's databanks are all completely blank, even the automated systems. By the captain's station is a makeshift log written on a kind of vellum. It's quite faded, but Triton does their best to decipher it. After jump from analysis of the ice quantum, lost life support and navigation, dead reckoned warp from N vector. That's all we can make out. So we have found an abandoned ship, but there is no sign of whether it is the diplomat that we're looking for. Well, let's continue to search. I hope we don't find them in Kernan space, because that might be quite the diplomatic incident. But we are in a isolated sector at the moment from the rest of our exploration. Got ourselves a derelict space station. This vessel was once an automated long-haul slow carrier. Judging from its similarity to old Starcom designs, it's probably acted as a mothership for smaller ore collectors. This is the one that was cursing Rhea's brain. His memories and dreams were about this ship. And we've managed to find it. We don't want to leave it out here for someone else to run into at warp speed. Nothing to collect. We are very lost. Let's head to the nearest system. Hopefully there's something between us and our destination. Comparing the molecules from the corrosive yellow fog in Lacoan space and the ochre fog anomaly, I've concluded that the latter is the result of the former breaking down over many years. Yeah, the Snake People system was very, very yellow. We have a comet inbound, we may have to stop. On an intercept course, we have seen the Crimson Comet. Its colour comes from an unusual amount of aluminium oxide collected from the star's early accretion disk. Every time I see that word now, I'm torn between American and British English spelling and pronunciation of it. It has been quite a sedate mission today. Next to no combat. The 3 comets that we've seen allowed me to further refine my model for stellar evolution. It's close to our own, but with subtle differences, particularly in the inflationary epoch. Okay, we do have combat inbound. Elite frigates, the Devout are here. And they have fighters on the way. Launch the missiles. The multi-missiles waiting there in orbit for their targets to head into their path. We're being... Oh! They went for the ramming action. We are quite a cumbersome tub at the moment. Easily being pursued by these frigates. And these interceptors. And now a destroyer. My experience is this thing's going to have beam weapons, shields, missiles, all sorts of stuff. At least we are able to. Uh-oh, the pirates are here too. We're not paying you gold, bro. Oh, the pirate fleet has arrived at the same time as we're being pursued by the Devout fleet. Can we force these 2 fleets to engage each other? If we fly in such a way as that we lead our pursuers into the pirates... Whoa, we've lost control here. Yeah, we are very, very slow. I must get more engines. We did use up a fair amount of our gold buying the 2 Mark II engines, and I do need to collect more. Let's just concentrate on point defense. Oh, radiation missile. Evasive action around that deadly cloud. Let's chase down this missile cruiser. He's probably the most deadly, and we'll leave the pirates to engage the other ships. The destroyers are engaging. Beam weapons hitting the pirate ship on the starboard side of it. They are tangled in a fracas now. Oh, the beam weapon. We are too powerful for the beam weapon. I put lots of reflectors on the front of our ship. battle station's holding up well. Okay, they're through the armor now. They're through the armor. Trying to back up. We've taken serious damage to all of our weapon systems. The rate of fire is significantly diminished. Oh, we've taken a direct hit with a radiation missile. Get out of it! Right, the cruiser's down. Let's get back in there and see how the pirates are faring against this swarm of devout ships. There seems to be some debris floating around. Some ships have lost their modules. This ship here looks ripe for the picking. I do like that there are factional differences and that you can not just get chased by everybody. Really, we are just participants in a giant universal war, it seems. Free for all. The large warships are still fighting. There's some critical modules floating around there, but I don't want to go over there and draw their aggro. So let's just weed out the little guys, let the big guys fight, and we will make sure to grab all that gold. There might be enough there for us to buy another 2 engines. We will need to address any power issues, and my thinking is that I will get rid of one of the crew compartments and replace it with a Mark II power supply. We may need to shuffle the modules around a bit, but we definitely need some speed in this thing. The missiles don't do a lot of damage. The last remaining warship of that fight seems like he is running. So let's continue our exploration. Now there is serenity in this system. I'm glad I didn't have to fight every single one of those ships. Ensign Perks is unable to determine what triggered the anomaly reading. There is nothing different about this planet. This is the first planet we've scanned that had literally 0 unique features across the entire scan data range. It is mathematically the least unique body we've ever encountered. Doesn't that make it pretty unique? Well, I guess so. It is unique in its mediocrity. But if it was unique, then it wouldn't be the least unique anymore. Landing on the planet, we find a fallen empire structure that appears to be an arcology spanning several thousand acres above and below ground. As elsewhere, it is a labyrinth of empty, dust-filled corridors. Following the trail leads deep within the labyrinthine structure to a single room, much like the others, save for the disturbed dust. There are several oddly shaped, immaculate patches amidst the trails. Looks like someone moved something. So probably rapid evacuation or looting expedition. And this pirate bark does not wish to enter our standoff range. Since we've brought the fixed lasers, we haven't had much issue destroying any station that we see and is hostile. Good purchase. I could fit one more on the prow of this ship. We have a triple laser arrangement. It's time to leave this system. We'll have to go through some devout ships. That's an unusual design we haven't seen before. As is that. That looks significantly chunkier than anything we've fought yet. But it seems to be primarily plasma turret armed. So we will make our exit from this station. It looks like we've arrived in friendly space. Allied ships are here. The sensors detect numerous high-density deposits of platinum scattered across the planet. But it contains quantities of an artificial molecule with the same scan signature as platinum. Someone seeded the surface of this planet with a material that mimics platinum as part of a mining con. Bit of fraud. Thus far, no sign of this lost diplomat. There's a guild trader here though. Let's go and speak with him. Yes, we're looking for this Nemoan ship. Do you know where it is? We can disclose that one of our vessels detected a brief distress beacon near a remnant gateway. It is not near any of our trade routes or colonies, so we offer its equation for almost nothing, just 2 iridium. Where did you detect it? Despite how cheap that information was being offered, I don't have a single scrap of iridium on the ship, so we need to go and find 2 iridium to be able to buy this information. Please be some iridium on this planet. Oh, there was. There's 3 iridium. The chain was created by a meteor impact millennia ago, which left modest iridium deposits in the shallows. Thankfully, we can now go and buy that information without having to travel too far. The islands themselves are covered in a lush fallen empire flora. A few patches near the shoreline have shed their foliage. Oh, we may be able to use this to kill the imperial flora on that trade planet. They're being stood over, or they've been taken advantage of because they can't grow food on the planet because of this perfect vegetation that outcompetes it. And so they needed us to find a way to get rid of this perfect vegetation so they could grow food. We need to tweak its genetic code to be specific to that colony's biosphere. I need some more information on Fallen Empire flora as well. Alright, so we've got the info on the diplomat. He's way to the northeast. So we're in another trade guild system. They will probably have pockets of systems all over the universe. Shallow Rocky Cove, we find some gold. The treasure is an enigma. There are no signs of current or past geological events. In the shallow crater lies a neutronium-rich chunk of meteorite. Normally, an object of this density would have buried itself far deeper. Alright, let's upgrade the skills. We want observation. So that's increased our ability to detect stars by 2,000 astronomical units. And astroscience, we need to put that up to level 2 so we can increase our chance of finding relics. Couple of points left. Let's max out the biomed, I think it is. Each person with 1 skill of biomed increases battle station recovery. That's what we want. And so our all-round crew is starting to be all-rounders. Looking good. We only have 1 real specialist in each field, but I want to take advantage of these crew perks because I feel like they're super powerful. Yeah, so we get 15% more resources and increases the chances of artifact drops. Nice! A distinguished old building is one of the few relics of a civilization that peaked during its Iron Age and then faded. Its stately gold dome remains mostly intact. Ensign Glees notes that it's just a thin leaf, perhaps 1 or 2 units of gold. Strip it! Strip it! Us heretics must strip the gold for our engines. It's a small amount, but every bit helps. That won't come back to bite us on the arse. We came across a wormhole station, so we've made a quick stop home to upgrade and spend our... We've earned nearly 1,000 research points on this little foray. So unlock the cruiser hull. Let's unlock advanced logistics so we can increase the size of our current ships. This looks like the weapon that our space stations were using at close range, like mines. So we're going to steal that as well. Increase the speed and range of our missiles. And more explosive power. So a little bit lacking in damage. As you can see, I've made a bit of a mess of the ship. I took out all the Mark 1 turrets, put in 2 generators, put in just the 1 crew compartment, and heat is becoming a real issue. So I'm trying to figure out how to distribute that. I'm going to have to rearrange the front turrets. We're going to have to move everything downwards. We need to keep those vents in. Don't know. Maybe I should put the power plants at an angle where the connectors are in the center. But if I move those connectors, I lose the heat efficiency from that section. So it really is a game of Tetris in a way, trying to make this efficient. I could slip back my Mark II turrets now. But where shall they go? They are the thing that's cooking the ship. Let's move these down here. Attach those directly to our central vents that we've unlocked. That looks good. We have a lot of energy production, but our draw is 36 gigajoules a second, so we will, under full load, run out of power. I've got two Mark I batteries fitted in there to try and alleviate that, so our reserves are at 81.3 gigajoules. Void speed's looking okay. Standard speed is still pretty slow at under 20 astronomical units a second. And I'm going to put some angled armor in here to use up the last of the modules and protect our cooling vents. Just so that shots from the front don't directly hit what we need to keep the ship cool. Hopefully that works. I could fit another fixed plasma on the front, but I won't just yet. Right, she looks imposing. She looks well defended. She can take a solid hit from beam weapons from the front. And now we have a point defense system that should keep away the lighter ships. The Havoc. Cry Havoc and unleash the mines of war. Alright, our weapons tests are complete. I think we should head out and finish looking for this Nemoan diplomat. Before we headed out again, I decided to put on that extra fixed plasma. And we've given her a nice new coat of paint. Red. Red means fast. Just come to an unexplored gateway. And then we will get back on the trail of that Nemoan diplomat. I hope they don't have short supplies, because we are taking forever to find them. A cluster of buildings connect to a single subterranean structure housing a large collection of cooling units. When operational, they were capable of cooling a large quantum computer to near absolute zero. The computer's data has long been erased. A search of the facilities uncovers some traditional data crystals in an underground vault. Oddly, most of the crystals are dedicated to the storage of hundreds of copies of the same algorithm. The surface of this part of the planet is marked with irregular granite intrusions. Having a search. Failing a search, we find 90 aluminium. The Luna. Let's head over and scan it. We've got a pirate on our tail, but we aren't scared of him. We're a little bit faster than him now, I think, too. He's having trouble keeping up. He's coming in hot now. Oh, we've got another option here. You seem to be losing against us. Nah, we're just going to keep farming them. They're too good. Yeah, we're just going to keep farming him for now. Maybe we will check that other option next time. If I only fire one type of weapon system at a time, we have fine for power. It's when the point defense Mark II plasma turrets fire that we start to really lose the power. But if I'm sparing with both weapon systems, we are golden. Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Pirate Son. Over the last few episodes, we have been finding these random research projects floating in space. And finally we have found enough to bring us to this location. So the diplomat will have to wait. With great difficulty, Lieutenant Perks pilots the lander through a blinding sandstorm. Sensors estimate whatever the signal was, it's not far. That is, if there's anything at all. A huge amount of charged dust is wreaking havoc with the instruments, shifting dunes cover and uncover geologic features on almost an hourly basis. Let's try and find it anyway. Good roll. During a brief pause in the heavy sandstorm, Ensign Kepler spies an implausible sight, a lush oasis on this otherwise dry planet. When the team lands to investigate, they discover an artificial pool filled from a deep underground aquifer, surrounded by lush greenery. At the bottom of the clear water is a stone slab covered in writing which translates, "In 50 years this entire world will be just as lush thanks to Xenoform Guild Tech. Contact your local purveyor to reserve your..." today. Lieutenant Perks estimates the aquifer's depletion. This advertisement is roughly 3 centuries old. There's literally an advertising for terraforming. Nice. Liking the look of this ship. We still have those sharp angles that the Venerator had. Still aircraft-like. Relic of Earth flight. But we are certainly a ship design that is all strength at the front and none at the back. If we take any hits to the rear, we get squished. That's why you never turn your back on them, unless you have the ability to run well. This destroyer here got absolutely pounded by our fixed plasma when he came in for his first pass. And we can chase them down now. We are faster than you, son. An isolated cluster of structures on this otherwise desolate planet are giving off 0 energy emissions. Inside, the team finds a few dozen deceased devout wearing envirosuits. While temperatures have arrested decay, the cause of death is unclear. Further investigation reveals this to be a top level of an underground research facility. But a collapse has sealed the lower level. There are reports of a hard line to the facility's computing system still operational. The computers are secured with devout encryption, which the team has had some partial success analyzing in the past. The problem is sheer volume. There are exabytes of data and indices that have been erased, and the hardline's bandwidth is narrow. Random sampling shows that whatever was being researched covered extremely wide areas of chemistry, xenobiology, nuclear physics, and more. So it is a devout research facility. No doubt, the origin of all those canisters we found. We need to find more of those containers to really ascertain what the research was about. The altar to the bones. Remember that altar we found in the sandstorm? The altar to the bones? That was the last episode. The universal translator had assumed a religious context. Looking at it again, I think the altar is an astrolabe. An astrolabe pointing to where the bones were taken. I'm pretty sure we already found the altar to the bones. I just found it randomly. I think. Maybe there's more to it. The structures detected from orbit are an array of well-maintained moisture collection pylons supplying a very small colony. As the lander approaches, several of the insectoid habitants excitedly rush out to greet the team. Their water collectors are dying and we need to fix them. There is a chance that we could make it worse. And we don't get any bonus to this. After spending considerable time analysing the pylon controls, Glees admits there are too many elements of the design that they don't understand, and a failed attempt might make the problem more difficult to solve. On the upside, they think they might have a better shot after taking some time to consider the problem. Okay, we can re-roll that. Commander's log, water collection pylons need repair for the Xeno colonists, but we don't yet have the knowledge or experience to do so. We will come back. We're back on task, looking for this diplomat. A pyramid ensconced in a deep cirque may only be accessed via a difficult ice climb from the nearest safe landing. Some alarming bipedal bones poke out of the snow. It's a tricky ascent, but teamwork and Perks' careful scouting lead to success. The pyramid houses a large laboratory which shows evidence of a hasty evacuation on foot. It's unclear what the focus of it was. In the main work area is a sealed crucible-like module. Symbols on its surface translate roughly to catastrophic knowledge, anti-pattern analysis. It's probably only been about 20 minutes of video time, but for me this has been 3 hours of flying in the void, finding every single little dot that doesn't have a gateway attached to it. Ensign Rhea, I've done a full analysis of the parasitic plague that the CXTA asked us to deliver medical supplies for. The parasites were almost certainly bred or engineered within the blue crystals we found on the planet in the Crimson Nebula. We've now found several connections between devout experiments and large-scale catastrophes. Besides being suggestive of sinister intent, they may give us a clear enough picture of their research to reconstruct the data indices in their lab. Nice colonized world here, let's have a look. Another city that's been co-opted by devout influence. Lieutenant Triton expresses disgusted admiration for their ability to control the populace through a mixture of localized nationalism and religionism. Ensign Glees observes that the planet's industries have recently been redirected towards large-scale mass production of some unknown warships. So it's hard to say where the devout are. They seem to be everywhere and nowhere. Like some planets are theirs, and then you can go ages without seeing a single devout ship. Okay, so we've arrived at the system that had the four body problem. What does that mean? We don't know. We are... Oh, okay, we're back near one of our start systems. Like episode 1. Near-constant high-speed sandstorms render most of the planet's surface opaque. The anomaly signal was barely that. Even with the astrolabe's directions, the teams were unsure if there would be anything down there. The pyramid was made to withstand the planet's terrible weather, but was left unsealed so much the interior furnishings have been sandblasted to fragments. A relic in the central chamber seems to have survived without a scratch, despite sitting outside its apparent container, a box made of precious neutronium. We have found ourselves another brass piece. That's the third one now, I think. And the brass stuff seems to be... It's brass colored, but it's of a material we don't know what it's made of. These guys are becoming a non-threat, except when they've got the radiation missiles. Those things are annoying. Just outside the range of that particular one. We don't care about your beam weapons too much. Using our Havoc launcher, try and destroy this thing at close range. The shield protecting him though from the most of the damage, it seems. Our plasma fixed turrets have been damaged. They're not firing. We took a lot of damage from that beam weapon. Got a little bit too cocky. Perfect crystalline comet passing by. Targeting the interceptor with our missiles. chase down the larger warships with our fixed weapons. Not able to penetrate through the shield at all. But the barrage of Havocs taking down the cruiser. Or destroyer, or whatever it is. It's bigger than us. Standoff missiles here. I would love to get myself some of those. It's trying to intercept us. Very clever. The radiation injuring Ensign Rhea. Very annoying weapon. I really need to work on the damage of those missiles. I'll think about using something else. They're not great. I mean, they're good for getting damage on target when it's fleeing you, but against bigger targets it seems to do nothing. Or maybe it's just because it's so outclassed damage-wise by the fixed guns. So that penetration into the center is just great for taking down the large ships. I promise you, we're on the search for this diplomat. We're just going the long way around it. We've come back to this place. Every time we've come here, someone has ended up injured, taking these little fungus balls, but now we've collected them. Seems to be an energy-efficient route to extract oxygen from a highly abundant compound. Missile range. Mark II fixed guns are going to be powerful, I think. And more damage per unit of energy. Ho-ho. Fixed guns are the way. And the range and speed. We've taken off that extra fixed gun off the front. Just a little bit too much power draw. I feel like the research that we've done now will increase the efficiency of the two that we have on the wings. And I've added the two smaller void surfaces there just to get it a little bit of extra speed, because we've been doing a lot of void travel as we fly into the center of a sun. Oops. That was intended. Testing that new heat shielding that we've installed. As I was saying, the void surfaces should give us an extra boost of speed in between planets and stars. The next upgrade to the ship will probably be to add the Mark II fixed plasma on the wings. We have about 10 modules worth of construction that I can still do on the ship. Despite me not being totally happy with my ship design yet, I'm feeling no fear when I'm fighting these guys now. As long as I manage my battle stations properly, the team are doing a good job. The next size up, I may add an extra 2 missile pods just so we can have a constant stream of missiles coming out of this ship. Unleashing the Havoc, trying to push that shielded cruiser away. I keep calling it a cruiser because it really does look like one. But it is a destroyer. The Havoc's blowing the front of the ship off. The reactor couldn't take it, detonating the rest of the ship. Thank you. Now we can get back to the important work. Nothing has changed since the team's last visit. Let's have a look though. While there's too much data to upload with the indices reconstructed, Ensign Rhea gets a clearer view of what the lab's activities were. It was clearly a weapons research facility. The Devout apparently recently gained access to some powerful computing or AI resource, and they've been using it to research numerous large-scale weapons programs for disparate biologies: silicon-based, plant-based, gaseous, organic. Recently they had begun narrowing their research down to a specific field: us. Obviously these new radioactive cloud missiles are the result of this research. So they have the ability to adapt to us fairly quickly. Commander Chaticus, despite the lack of support by a major faction, Venerator has acquired a reputation as a threat to reckon with. We would further interest work with you. We have now lost several deep haulers on several routes. Some of these have been in guild space. Such are the risks of business, without the Empire to keep order, but our contract entitles us to compensation for piracy. The guild is claiming that they have seen no evidence of such. We would like Venerator to investigate the region where the attacks have had most recently occurred. If you can bring evidence to the guild that these are deliberate attacks in their domain, we will split the compensation with you evenly. No, we want more. Your negotiator pilots a difficult deal. We'll give 100% of the compensation if the guild takes the matter seriously. They mean I drive a hard bargain. You pilot a difficult deal, sir. We're on our way to collect another pirate chest. We might even put 6 engines on this ship and just make it a speed demon. I'm very happy with the look of it. Very aggressive, very... We have a rule aboard the Perambulator: if you see a heretic portal, thrust yourself headlong into it. We have a space station. Instantly detonated by our Havoc. That weapon is extremely powerful, and I think it's going to be part of the ship forever. I have a guild-approved list of topics that we may discuss. Well, there are pirates in your space. You are being deceived. The CXTA use many excuses for lost deliveries, but our investigation agents have repeatedly been able to buy these lost goods from the pilots. Tell us about the Imperial flora. The gardens of the Empire were truly magnificent at their height, and they were developed and cultivated a wide range of species, both hardy and sturdy. Blah 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 blah. We have purchased a database on the engineered flora of the fallen empire and their genetics. Genetics. We have it all. Let's go and make something with that. We're going to modify a blight to kill imperial plants, so people can grow food. It's like the cane toad of the botany world. We are still looking for a diplomat. Hopefully he's not a skeleton. He might be. We are taking a long time. It's been a few months of star time. We have recently come under attack in this area from unknown vessels. We are looking for pirates. And I don't think they're going to be the big pirates, because everyone would say, hey, the Brigadier are attacking our ships. They're pretty easy to identify. There's nothing out of the ordinary in this system. We've explored most of the planets. Oh, we just took damage. Registering heavy damage across multiple systems, dispatching damage control teams. Did we hit something? Did we just run into a cloaked ship? Yeah, there's ships hiding here and I just ran into one. So we repaired that damage and no sign of any other... Oh, we have a reading. Stalker Scout. That sounds ominous. Stalker Frigate. Oh, doesn't that look familiar? These ships look like that thing that stalked us in the space, but they're much smaller. Like when we were lost in the void. 11111111111111. Well, have a very pleasant 1111111111 to you too as well. 11111. Okay, are they just repeating 16 ones? Yeah, 1111111111. I think they might be 11111. They remind me of those aliens from Sesame Street. And they are now preying on the freighters here, so the 11111s need to go. We need to reduce them to 0. Oh, yes. They have strange missiles that are disappearing and reappearing. Well, the ships are reappearing and disappearing, but I don't think the Havoc launcher cares. Completely disabled this ship's engines. And we have more stalkers on the scanner. We need to keep these haulers safe. Damaged stalker. It's trying to escape the multi-missiles. Ooh, they are defensive against our point defense. From memory, the one out in the void was much blacker. No, these guys are reddish in their ship coloring. Where are you? Show yourself. We are here to defend the haulers. We are Starcom. Cease and desist. Frigate says hell no as he launches a volley of phasing missiles. It looks like they're phasing in and out of reality. Oh, there's two more ships up near the haulers. We need to turn around and get back up there to defend them. If we could collect one of these cloaking devices, that would be awesome. That would make our exploration much safer. We have recently come under attack. Yes, I can see that. Alright, we need to get this last ship out of here. I think it's the last one. We picked up a telemetry device. That might teach us how to detect their cloaking, perhaps. Or tell us where they're coming from. But the 111111111s don't like my Havoc, that's for sure. There's nothing he can do to escape now. Oh, if you hadn't noticed, we put that front gun back on. I just needed that extra firepower. So that worked out well. So it is in fact a missile dephaser as suspected. And that means that we will be able to research that at some point. We need 2 more of those. Oh no, we can just do it straight off the bat. Awesome. We can dephase our missiles. Yeah, the missiles are very effective against small ships. Highly rate them against the smaller ships. Dodge this! Oh, he still exists as a target. We have some kind of detection on him. I was able to see him. Oh, don't get too close there, Trade Guild ship. Please don't go into the Havocs. Oh. Oh no, I hit him with it. Okay, he's alright. Here's the proof that you had pirates in your space. No longer. Their repeated false claims have injured us to the possibility of legitimate ones. Accepting no blame, just shifting it. Excellent diplomacy. Thank you for bringing this evidence to our attention. We will dispatch a guild master and the 2nd Legion to clear the space. Righty. And we should get the compensation for that. And finally, we have arrived at Nemoan space. No energy readings from the vessel. Its reactor must be offline or damaged. Suggest we approach with caution. As the survey team approaches the derelict, we can see it's taken some damage. A hole in the hull has allowed direct access to the bridge. A single dead Nemoan pilot is strapped in the command seat. A search of the ship reveals no crew, alive or dead. One of the ship's escape pods is missing. Examining its telemetry data does show that it has been purged. Whoever erased the data did not realize that the comm relay still had the last outgoing message in its logs. First, payment package and prion samples received, transmitting the promised data. The data seems to be a large collection of ship identifiers, timestamps. Despite the unfamiliar alien physiology, Ensign Ria notes that the biochemistry works the same with Nemoans as creatures in our own universe. It seems that some chemical interrupted the neurotransmitters that regulated its breathing, but whatever it was, it broke down quickly after death. Cause of death? Poison? So, this was, in my view, someone selling data to an enemy, and they poisoned their offsider for whatever reason. Tried to clear the logs, but we were able to ascertain where the life pod went to. So I think this may be a defector. Or some kind of attempt at selling data to the enemy. We do know that they're almost at war with the insect people. We did just take a shit ton of damage from exploding that. What happened? I think I figured out what's going on here. Our own systems are attacking themselves. Remember the ice fragment we recovered that requires additional analysis? Yeah, the fractal ice, well, I think we picked it up before. The artifact itself is harmless, but the data inside caused our systems to run amok when they tried to analyze it. We need to get back to Solano to take them offline for a hard reset. Okay, so we have hostile information on the ship? Is that what's happening? Some kind of virus bomb? Like digital virus? No, there's no danger to Solano, but we'll need the lab's computers. I am concerned about potentially lethal levels of condescension from Dr. Rama on the topic of information hazards. Using the telemetry data, the team is able to locate a smaller escape pod, and inside they find a gaunt Nemoan, half-starved, surrounded by a disorganized array of crates and survival equipment. I am Diplomat Anasajari from Nemoan. Who are you? The team identify themselves as Starcom representatives and provide the diplomat with a communications feed to the Venerator. Okay, let's... Alright, so she's on a goodwill mission to try and improve relations with the Kernans. When they attacked us, I was able to escape, but they destroyed my ship and one of our escorts. Despite her objections, we have a look in the crates, and besides life pod survival equipment, we find gold. I carry these for this exact purpose. Consider it payment for my rescue. Life pod survivors aren't expected to have gold with them. I think I registered our flight plan with the Kernans so they would know when to expect us. That must be what you saw. So she's contacted the Kernans, right? She's a defector. She is a defector. Let's not say anything in case she turns hostile. Let's take her back to her people and then dob her in. But I have a feeling that this may lead to war. Returning to Nemoan space to deliver this diplomat, with inverted commas. She is unaware that we know what she was up to. My suspicion is she's a defector. We found your survivor. Excellent news. That's how the other person got poisoned. Let's give them a full account and our ship logs pertaining to the event, so we have proof. This is most shocking. Anasayari will face a tribunal for this. With the evidence from your logs, even her family will not be able to protect her. We are most grateful that you uncovered this deception. If she had been successful, it would have given the Kernans a crippling advantage. I implore you not to reveal this information to the Kernan. They will certainly use it against us. Alright, so they're going to tell us about the remnant artifact. We're familiar with the Great Gateways, but know little about their other rumoured structures. Our intelligence officers report that the Kernan recently purchased information regarding the location of a fallen Empire lab. Our agent could not verify the accuracy, but did capture the coordinates. Okay, so the Kernan know something about the fallen Empire. So let's go and have a look at the lab and hope that we don't spark their hostility. I'm going to mark all of these systems as their particular race's system, just so that we know who we're dealing with when we go in, because I feel like this is going to escalate, whatever's happening between these two races. Fortified structure is built into the mountains of this icy world. After a cautious approach, the team is easily able to gain access. Once inside, the team finds a deep shaft leading to an underground facility. The lower level is chaos. From what remains, the team guesses this was some kind of research facility. Most of the equipment has been removed, but in a side chamber, the Universal translates a secondary containment facility in which there is an object. Having a look in their trade, they have something here from the remnants, so we purchased it. We have a lot of platinum. Let's identify it before we speak to them about it. So we found this inside the research lab. The container is empty. Nothing could escape, not even information. Unfortunately, opening it ruined it. Okay. Oops. And the remnant device that we just bought. What is it? A sharp point protrudes from a ring on the top. This technology is incredibly advanced to the point it's difficult to learn much from it. It emits an energy signal with an unusual signature in response to certain stimuli. So we've come back to the Venerator to purge our virus or whatever we have. I keep taking damage and I'm worried that it's just going to blow us up randomly. Acting up? Is that an ironic understatement? Venerator is having an anaphylactic attack from ingesting hostile data. You could have destroyed her. So it was a virus. It's like an allergic reaction. If I threw a vacuum flask, I could hit 3 lab assistants who know enough to add Kolmogorov's filter before adding computational resource to analysis of unknown data. Crew is replaceable. We only have 2 ships. I will supervise Gleese's hard reset of Venerator's systems. This kind of threat was avoidable, even if you hadn't been following Captain Dawson's reports. I'm going to make use of that dephasing technology and see if they make our missiles better. We achieved our main objective for the episode. My name is Commander Tyrael, this is the SCS Perambulator, and we are setting out on a new mission. Make sure you're there next time, hit like, hit subscribe, and we will catch you in the next episode. Commander Tyrael, out.